I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? God time, we don't never waste. We don't never.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rock Top Sports Talk. This is your boy, Coach Rice. On this episode, we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything: transfer portal, coaching changes, the little bit of a bowl reaction. I know nobody really wants to talk about that pathetic game that happened a few days ago, but lots of changes came to the staff. We've had some big names enter the transfer portal. We're also looking at some big names visiting Tennessee. And so we'll get into all that. Before we get on to all that, y'all, please do us a favor. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That way you can get the notification, get the bell ring when we go live or anytime a video drops. Also, follow us on Facebook, Rock Top Sports Talk. I post on there anytime we go live or any video drops, as well as Twitter. Follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at Rocky Top Talks 1. That's where I post on Twitter anytime we go live or have conversation on there. And then, just subscribe, share this thing out, let Tennessee Vol fans or football fans. I'm a football guy. Anytime somebody's talking football, I tune in. There's stuff on Twitter that where I'm just following football pages and I'll just tune in and listen to that, talk about football formation, schemes, all that. And y'all, if y'all only knew my following on YouTube, it's just like all different types of football coaches and clinics. So just your football guy that just loves football. And so all four of us here love Tennessee sports, primarily Tennessee football. And we're going to talk about everything Tennessee football tonight, especially this offseason, what the goals are for Tennessee going into 2026. So with that being said, let me bring my guys, Big Mike, Joey, and Tom onto the stage, and let's get this thing rolling. But real quick before I get y'all, Lynn's in the chat. What's up, Lynn? Go ahead. Glad to have you in the chat. If you know anybody that's a Vol fan, go ahead and share that out with them, and let's get this show rolling. Get as many people in the chat and live as possible. What's up, homies?
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. Y'all recovered yet from the other day? I know it was a couple days before New Year's. I know, Tom, you've had New Year's drinking to get over it. So, but I hope y'all have had a good New Year's. I know we had a good time. I went over to Amber's house that's in the chat sometimes, and we had a good time with her family, and so I hope y'all, like I said, hope y'all had a good New Year's. Start off the year, y'all. What do y'all thinking this Tennessee Vol coaching staff is shaping up to be like, and what do y'all think about the move so far? Big Mike, I'll let you go first.
So far, I like what they're doing. Of course, I think Knowles was I feel like could be a home run hire in the long run. And the piece that he added today that we talked about, Poindexter, going to coach the safeties, I believe, corners. I've seen a few other names that that might be linked to the job. But all in all, I feel pretty good so far about what he's done, and feel good about Gardner possibly staying around. I was hoping that Martinez was going to be gone. I hate to say that about somebody's job, but I mean, I felt like it was a move necessary that needed to be made, and just really look forward to seeing the rest of the staff filling out, and let's get to work, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. Joey, how about you, bro?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think it's a home run staff. Got national champion defensive coordinator. Somebody knows what it's like to get the job done. And he's hired some guys that I'm excited to see in action. I didn't realize that the Poindexter guy was going to be co-defensive coordinator though. So they just announced the whole coaching staff looks like. So I guess that the Leo coach, or what I think that's what he said, Andrew Jackson or something like that
Andrew
was his name.
Jackson. Yeah.
Love the name.
Yeah, he's officially hired. So the staff looks pretty legit.
Yeah.
I think we're really going to see some improvements, but I also think it's going to take a minute for we could come out next year depending on who he gets in. If he gets in guys that has experience in his system, but I don't expect next year to be just blow my socks off. But I do believe we'll see some. What I'm excited about is hard-nosed defensive football.
Yeah.
Not 25 yards off the ball, giving up 5 yards or giving up 10 yards of pass across the middle. I think we'll see some aggressiveness and some effectiveness. Let me put it that way. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think there's a lot that the staff, when you talk about the variety, the versatility of it, you got William Inge, you got Rodney Gardner being retained, you got Andrew Jackson, who's going to take over Coach Chop's role. I know Coach Chop was someone that was beloved by several Tennessee fans, but just necessary changes. Nothing against Coach Chop. I know everybody had their dislikes with Coach Martinez and obviously Coach Banks. But I think the reason why they retain Inge and obviously Gardner is because their pedigree, their resume speaks for itself. And then just I think the mentality and which I think Coach Chop personally could, but Coach Andrew Jackson had that connection with Coach Knowles at Penn State. And I think Austin Price hit it best. And Tom, I'm gonna let you speak on it as a little bit as well. The being able to bring as many guys that are familiar with Coach Knowles' system.
100%.
And to be able to bring guys in, maybe a few transfers that have played under Knowles, or specifically guys like King Mack or Harris, the cornerback, or Chaz Coleman, the Leo, or other guys that can bring that system with them and just kind of help teach the system to the rest of the players and make that transition simpler. So with that being said, Tom, looking at the whole staff in general, who they're bringing in, how do you think that transition will be? Do you think it'll be something that I know several people have said Coach Knowles normally takes 2 years to really, see the effect of his defense? Do you think it'll be 2 years? Do you think it'll be a quick transition, or do you think it's something that you better get it done, or Josh Heupel's job will be on the line?
There's a lot, man. That's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack there, because I'm probably the wrong one to ask on that one, because I just don't.
That's true. Point, I know.
I don't believe in Josh Heupel. I don't. I think he's just soft as baby's food. But that. Now, as far as them bringing in the continuity with him, that's great. Anytime you got a national title winning defensive coordinator, just a quick tangent before I get into my actual answer on Knowles. We were talking about this last time. Two episodes ago, I think, when they hired, or no, it was last episode when they hired him. And we were talking about how it might take a little while for, based on previous experience where he's been, and it might take a couple of years. I love the fact that they lost at Oregon last year and then beat the hell out of us and them in the playoffs and showed that just his defensive ability to seize the initiative away from an offense the way that I want a defensive coordinator to do.
Yeah.
I just wanted to note that. Like, Oregon played the game of their lives last year against Ohio State and barely beat them at home, okay, in Eugene. But then in the playoff, Ohio State made them look like a tar baby. I mean, they absolutely just it was something to watch. Now, bringing that kind of a mind with those staffers that he's familiar with, guys that can recruit with him, because I think we talked about this too. He's not known as a massive recruiter, but hey, let the results speak for itself, man. And I'm so sick and tired as an average UT fan. I'm so sick of hearing this is just the bee's knees. This is the best beer you ever had. And then all of a sudden you take a sip of it and it's like, man, well, that wasn't very good, was it? And it's because it wasn't brewed right, wasn't even ready to be poured. I'm so sick of that crap. So I want to see somebody come in and say, well, you know what? I'm not known as the biggest recruiter, but I'm going to let my success on the field with the development of the guys that we got who want to be here, which we're going to touch on here in a second. But the guys that want to be here with one of the best defensive line coaches in the world, and just go to work, man. Go to work, because the schedule next year, it is not what it's been the last 3 years. To me, this year was prove it year, but next year is, something or get off the pot year for Josh Heupel. Like, that's just to me. And I know there's a lot of changes going on, and that's not going to happen and I don't want it to happen, because when you get rid of a head coach, especially when you got the recruits that you've been bringing in, your classes keep getting better and better.
Yeah,
you're going to lose a lot of that. You're going to lose a lot of that, and there's a lot of pain. So I definitely don't want that. I know I've had some arguments with people online who, when you say Josh Heupel got to go, they're like, oh, well, you want us to suck again? No, I don't want that. It's just going to happen. But I think next year with the schedule, man, I think it's going to be something. If he brings in the guys that he's familiar with and that defense does something, it's going to be something to watch, because we got some young guys that showed some real talent, especially Ty and a couple of the defensive tackles. They're a little outsized. Maybe they get some weight on them. Rodney G gets another year of development on them if they stay. It could be something special, really. It could be something special. You bring in a national title winning defensive coordinator with that kind of a schedule, and you put together 5 or 6 wins in a row, baby, it's on. That you got me bought in again. You get at the sense of detachment that I've got right now. It's exciting. It really is. Bringing in Jim Knowles was a huge thing for me. That was one of the things that kept me engaged.
Kept you engaged, yeah.
At this point, after the 20 years we've all had, like, let's be real, fellas. 20 years ago, when it looked like it was teeter-tottering because we'd been to the title game 6 years before, and all right, well, Phil Fulmer, hadn't done much, and we lost 2 SEC championship games after, one at that point, in 2005, we'd lost one more title game. But, I mean, the wheels hadn't completely come off. We didn't know the locker room was completely lost. But do y'all, I mean, just at this point, let me throw a question back at you guys. What do y'all think is the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years? Like, what do y'all think is going to happen with Jim Knowles coming in and with Heupel hopefully learning from some of his mistakes, and, the class that we brought in, like the potential that we got with this free agency coming up, I mean, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna throw this to Big Mike as well. I'm gonna let you answer that. But one thing I'd say, to build off of what you're just saying, it is all that transition. You got all these defensive guys. You're fixing to hire a new strength and conditioning coach. There may be, who knows, there may be an offensive change here and there. I mean, there's still rumors around that could possibly happen. I doubt it happens, but there are rumors, because Coach Heupel wanted the staff full and complete when the transfer portal got off and rolling. So, Big Mike, Tom just asked, what do you think the next 2-3 years it looks like? Does Josh Heupel get the opportunity? Is there a transition, like a year kind of giveaway year where lets the defense kind of mold, or is it one and done? If you don't prove it this year, is Josh Heupel out the ship? So, what do
Man,
you think, Big
man,
Mike?
uh, I don't know if Heupel has another year to throw away. Um, and to be like, and as far as the hire Knowles and the system and everything that I've been reading, I tried to study up on him as much as I could. Former players talked about him and stuff. I think probably at least next year for sure, one of the biggest differences I think we will see, I hopefully see, is just from a standpoint of preparation, like how he prepares the guys to come out and play. Because just I think we've even talked about this from uh, hearing some players talk about the preparation they had before they played us last year in the playoffs. Just the way that he had them prepare for us, like how they knew what we were going to do. Just I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Hopefully, and that's one of the things one of the biggest things I ask for right away is just preparation. Like be prepared, like
Yeah.
practice and stuff like that. Just preparation is going to be huge. Like, ha, if he could have us prepared to play and know the game plan, and obviously the guys knows what he's doing. He's had some really good defenses, and it looks like some really good prepared defenses. So I think next year maybe one of the biggest differences we see right off the bat is just from a standpoint of preparation.
Yeah, I can. I think the preparation and knowledge of what these guys are going to be able to teach to this defense is going to be head above shoulders than what we've had the last few years. Because obviously Rodney Gardner is one in the a unique. William Inge has had that experience, been there, done that. So, what do these other guys, Michael Hunter, Andrew Jackson, Anthony Poindexter, bring with nose? And what other else, GAs, coaching assistants? There's still a small rumor out there that Coach Chop could be retained as a defensive assistant under Rodney Gardner, kind of back in the role he was, or he'll go off elsewhere. There's that being floated around. But what does this staff, Joey? I'll let you answer this. Need to prove in year one? Like, what is their goal when we get through 2026, and you look at the staff as a whole, defensive staff as a whole? What do they have to prove in year one?
I believe they got to set a standard of what we're going to be about at Tennessee. Of course, the standards should already be set with Tennessee's history of defense.
Yeah,
and the dudes that we've put in the NFL that have been just unreal Hall of Famers. The toughness side of it, and my God, I'm praying and begging and pleading that they teach tackling at the University of Tennessee again. That's what
Can you
I'm
say
saying.
that again, brother?
Yeah,
Can you say it one more time?
It's unbelievable. I would love to know, and if our buddy Sam is around, he probably already has it. But my guy's a stat guy. I wonder how many missed tackles we had this year.
it's up there.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a year of Tennessee defensive football like that, honestly. I know in the Butch Jones era, we had some years where we couldn't tackle as well, but like this was pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely pitiful. So, what I like is we got some guys that not only do they have coaching experience, they got playing experience. on this staff that they don't just talk it, they did it.
Yeah. NFL experience.
NFL experience, they did it. And so I'm excited about that. I think year one they got to come in and say, hey, this is what our defense is about. We're not going back down. And I hope this is what I hope, because I'm scared that college football. I'm not going to go on a rant like Tom over there, but I believe.
Please give me an opportunity.
You will have that opportunity tonight, I promise.
I believe that college football is getting to the place that the players are running the locker room and not the coaches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I believe that these guys on the screen right here are going to come in and say, look, this is what we do here. This is what we're about. This is all we're going to be about. So either get in or get out. And you'll probably see a few more names come up in the portal because they're not going to fit what Coach Knowles wants to do. So I'm expecting like fierce competitors. That's you know, and as a fan, that's all you can hope for is somebody that's going to teach the fundamentals, cover the fundamentals, but also teach our plan, our attack, and how we're going to do it, or how we're going to get better each week, and how we're going to attack this week. So I don't know. To me, it literally just felt like it was a free for all this year. It honestly did. I text you guys this week after our game the other night. As disappointing as it was, I don't really care to talk about it, but we were literally about 5 plays away from being probably
a playoff team,
one-loss team.
Yep.
And I recapped them. You know, obviously we want to talk about the missed field goal at Georgia or against Georgia, but really it was the third down play after we recovered the fumble. That really lost us the game right there. We had a chance to either score or, you know, put the game on ice with the first down.
Yep.
So, you know, there's 2 plays. We had 2 picks on back-to-back drives against Oklahoma. We left 21
and the strip sack fumble.
And the strip sack fumble.
Return for touchdown.
All we had to do is tackle the guy, and at best they get a field goal maybe. They also got a field goal at the end of the first half because of an interception. Those are not the plays. The strip sack that we just did not tackle the guy. That's play number 1. They don't score a touchdown there. Our defense was actually playing pretty well at that point in that game. They don't score a touchdown there. We win that game. The Alabama game, we left 21 points on the field. I don't know if people realize that. We ended the game on the 1-yard line. The series before that, we didn't get any points. We turned it over on downs at the 19, so inside the 20. And then obviously the infamous pick 6 at the end of the half. We win that game 41-20 at that point. 41-30 at that point. So we were close, but to be honest with you, watching these playoff games, I'm glad we didn't go, because it would have been worse than last year's embarrassment at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I think this. I hate to say it as a fan, but I think this year needed to happen. So that Heupel, one of the biggest complaints that I had with Heupel was that he didn't act like a head coach and fire people when he needed to fire them. And so I think this year needed to happen to get folks in place. Now, I think he needs to make some decisions on the offensive side of the ball, coaching staff wise too. I don't know what that is. I'm not an expert there. I'm just a guy that loves Tennessee football and hates to see us in the position that we've been in for, as Tom says, 20-plus years. It's been terrible. And so anyway, I'm excited about this, the defensive side of the ball. I think this is the step in the right direction. heck, I hope they get a bunch of guys bought in. I hope they bring in who they want in, and we compete next year.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a long year if not, boys.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
schedule is no joke.
Yeah, we all know what the schedule looks like. It's brutal. Which I've been one to advocate for the 9-game conference schedule. I think if you're gonna go out and you're gonna win championships, you gotta go beat the best of the best each year. And I'm tired of the cupcake games mid year or late year. It does nobody any good. Except for them to make some money, but it more times than not it's a blowout. So what's the positive side for them outside the administration money? And there's just so many things that this year you can look back on. Obviously, the missed opportunities, the issues that Coach Heupel had with timing issues and game management. And so there's other changes and self-reflections that Coach Heupel has to make. But that's one thing, and I'm sure all three of you would agree with me, that Coach Heupel has went and done. He realizes that this crap that happened this year can't be sustained. Like you can't keep doing the path you're on. You have to make changes. You have to make the necessary things. And whether it mean he sat there and looked at her, or Danny White got on his butt, or Boosters got on his butt, and said, "Hey, we're not fit to stick with this out, or you're going to get the boot. So you got to make the necessary changes needed." And like I said, I'm sure all three of y'all agree with that. That's the take. And then Coach Heupel obviously listened or did listen to his own self and realized that he better make some necessary changes. So with that being said, we covered the defense staff. Now let's quick little small bow reaction. Like I said, just very small, and then we'll get into some portal talk. And I'll let Tom's going to have a rant before the end of the show about transfer portal and NCAA and all that, and the state, the place we are at in the NCAA. So, bowl game, guys. Obviously, that was a few days ago, December 30th. Not fun to watch. First half was miserable. Missed opportunities, bad play calling. Defense actually didn't look too bad outside the first drive. I mean, obviously they couldn't get off the field, but they weren't giving up explosives, at least in the first half, like they were late in the season. I thought they were tackling pretty good, but late in the year, late in the game, obviously they couldn't get off the field, and that their defense was the reason why we lost. But Big Mike, just give me one little reflection from the bowl game, and I'll throw it to all three of you, and then we'll stop talking about the bowl game.
Man, it looked like one of the most unprepared Tennessee teams I've ever seen.
Damn straight.
Yeah, just straight up. I don't know if it was, a lot of our opt-outs, guys that, didn't want to be there. Like that. I mean, Lance Hurd, that's the worst game ever. Joey had no time whatsoever to throw the ball, to take, which I know they were in zones and like he couldn't take his deep shots like normal, but still, I mean, that was one. I'm glad we didn't go on that night or even the next day, because
I was hot.
Yeah, dude. I was not fit for polite company that night, I can tell you.
But I think like Joey touched on wanting to see like the tackling and stuff like that. And I think some of the moves that he's made is going to tie into that, like our strength and conditioning. I think that's going to be a big thing. Getting us prepared for games next year. It was just, I just want to see, I just want to see us better prepared next year. It just, it was bad. And the thing is, I've kind of stepped back and looked at it. and I'm not making any excuses, but Illinois wasn't a terrible football team because if you look at their 4 losses, I believe all 4 losses come by 7 points or less, and like they give Indiana all they wanted, and I believe they were several good teams that they played close, and I think they were a lot of their losses were 1-score games. So I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but like we just. And I mean, yes, I think the opt outs did hurt us somewhat. Not having Arian Carter and Colton Hood. I mean, I think we could have won the game, if we'd have had a couple of those players in there. But it was very hard to watch for me. Being as diehard a ball fan as I am, it was I mean, it just made me sick.
Yeah.
And I just really look forward to. I look forward to change. But like Joey said, I really think that what happened this year had to happen to force change.
I agree.
And I look forward to us embracing the change and seeing what we can come up with next year.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you hit it on the spot. I think you have a couple opt outs in the game. Of course, Illinois say the same thing. They had probably the top 3 defensive end in this year's draft opt out, and top tackle opt out as well. But the impact of not having Arian Carter, I think Chris Brazell was the biggest impact of it all. Not having him. I love Ryan Jackson. I love Trevor Smith. I think they're both going to be great players for us. But you could just see the impact of not having Chris Brazell on the field, who Joey has, that chemistry with. And shout out to Joey real quick before I let Joey and Tom go. Joey Aguilar, man, hey, you got all the respect in the world for me, brother. I think you became one of my favorite Vols all time
For
because
sure.
what you dealt with, having that benign tumor in that right arm through the majority of the year, and and just fighting through it, and not showing any weakness, and just continue fighting all and giving your all for Tennessee. That just, you talking about respect between him and Jalen McMurray. And Bryson Eason, what those, those are Vol for life. Like those 3. Like I know Joey was only here 1 year, but what he had to fight through and be able to, do what he did for Tennessee, you can't state enough about it. So just a shout out to the real Vol for lives that give their all for Tennessee, and not like some of these kids like the Ricky Gibsons who. From what AP says, it's about them not hiring that Ernest Thomas as their defensive backs coach once they let Willie Martinez go. I heard it wasn't nothing about money, but it's I love guys that give their all for Tennessee, and I know all 4 of us do. I mean, all 4 of us do. So. Joey, man, I know you don't want to talk about it, brother. I know you didn't. It's not something we care to talk about. What's your background? What'd you change your background to?
At a baby. It's time, man. It's time.
Yes.
I agree 100,000 million, billion, bajillion% with that sentiment. It says it all.
Yeah.
That's my reaction to the game.
Yeah. I feel you. All right. Well, just spit off a few things. I know that pretty much emphasizes all 4 of our reactions, but go ahead, shoot off what you thought about it.
I mean, defensively, it was about what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, offensively, it was just it wasn't even mediocre. Like, it was terrible. The worst offensive performance I think I've seen in Heupel's tenure here, just to be honest with you. Last year was pretty bad at Ohio State, but at least it was against the national championship team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was bad. It was pathetic. Poor blocking. makes
the
sense.
offensive line was awful.
The offensive line, you could tell that them dudes were just not in it.
Didn't care.
Didn't care.
Not one bit. They could have gotten Joey seriously hurt too.
1,000%.
That's dangerous, man. I'm not even. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, you're fine. It is. You could tell that they just were not even trying to play, and it makes sense that these guys are entering the portal. So my reaction is we should have stayed at home.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't do us any good
to go do that was just pitiful.
Disgusting.
I didn't even like. I was at a family Christmas anyway.
Yeah.
And so I was watching on my phone, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Again, I think this year had to happen to get the changes we needed. So hopefully we're not done yet.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Tom. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think there's a lot of players that were out there giving their all, and then there were some that you could very much question. But it's so frustrating. The opt-outs. I know we're all on the same. I hate opt-outs. I hate that term. I think once you commit, if you're 100% healthy, I get why they do it. That don't mean I agree with it.
Right.
Because like once you commit to something, I'm all in. Like you're not, flaking from it. You're doing what you committed to do, and you're giving it your 100% for the University of Tennessee until the season is completely over.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're injured, that's one thing. If you're, and Jalen McMurray was battling through injury. He said, "I'm not fixing to let my guys out there on that field feel like I'm quitting on them." That's why that's respect. That is full respect right there as someone who is all VFL. And Tom, I know you agree with that, but what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the game? I mean, I know it without even asking you, but because me and you talked about it. But what's your thoughts, brother?
I'm gonna try to keep this within 5 minutes, and I'm just telling y'all right now.
Keep it PG too.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say any curse words or anything that I really want.
We all can say.
When you use certain words, it really drives it home. But I'm gonna refrain from it. Look, I love. Look, you can ask my fiance. She's laying in the other room. Every single piece of clothing I wear, except for my blue jeans and my khakis, have something to do with Tennessee. I have been to more Tennessee games and bled orange my whole life. But y'all, I don't know if because of my background being the green screen, I'm this close, and I love, like, this makes me red in the face, want to cry kind of thing, man. I'm telling y'all, it makes me so angry that I want to give up, but I won't.
You've been through death, fooly dooly, man. You can make it.
The place that we are right now, not just as Tennessee fans, I see it all over the internet. I see it online every day, and we all talk about it. And I'm pretty sure, even though with the minor minutia, we might disagree on some certain things, but the overall trajectory right now of collegiate athletics is what we just experienced in that stupid bowl game the other night. We had nothing to win, everything to lose. There's too many bowl games, professionalization of collegiate athletics. I'm going to start there. And I've talked about this briefly before, but I'm going to hit it right now. It is disgusting. It's unethical. It's immoral. It's unprincipled. It should not be professional. They're supposed to be amateur student athletes. They're supposed to be students, not professionals. Okay. When you professionalize this, it takes away the promotion of a fair playing field. Which Tennessee's helped do. We gave Nico Iamaleava that huge contract for nothing. And we help perpetuate and further the disgusting state of collegiate athletics that we're in right now. then you also detract from what college is supposed to be about. And yes, I know the universities are making buku money. UT brought in over $300 million in one athletic year. I think it was 2 years ago. That's what it is. The colleges can market a product because they know people are going to buy it. That's nothing next to the principle that you're supposed to be a student. You're not supposed to be a professional athlete. So that's where it starts. And we've hit on this a couple of times this year when we had disappointing results from guys that are supposed to be out there playing, like Jalen McMurray put out there the other night. I didn't want to let my guys down. And you know what? Awesome. That's because you care. That's because you give a damn. It's because you want to be playing football at Tennessee. There were guys 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago that wanted to play for a specific school. They grew up wanting to do it. They dreamed about doing it. That might exist 1 in 1,000 players now, y'all. And that's no overestimate. How many teams are there? 132, 135, something like that. Each one of them's got 50, 60 guys on whatever it is. It's ridiculous. And you want to talk about the realignment, too many bowl games? We're going to hit on this. We're going to hit on this. I saved this just for this opportunity, the Xbox Bowl. Disgusting. Yeah. There's 41 bowl games, y'all. 41. That doesn't matter for anything. That includes the playoffs, okay? That includes, which shouldn't even exist in the first place. The playoffs shouldn't even exist in the first place, but there's 41 stupid bowl games. You got the Myrtle Beach Bowl presented by Engine. What the heck is that? The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. The Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans Bowl. Like what? The Snoop Dogg Bowl. I mean, this is crap. It's absolute crap. And I'm sorry if it makes anybody nervous or uneasy that I'm just getting pissed here, but it just makes me want to puke. It makes me want to puke. And I love Tennessee, man. I don't want to give up on Tennessee football because it's going to be the most devastating thing. It would be a serious blow to me as a person to not have Tennessee football as part of my life. It really would. It would make me seriously sink into an actual depression. Yeah. That's nothing next to the experiences that we've had with the Dooleys and the Joneses and this year and the things like that. Kind of serious depression would really take away something from a person's life. Like that's the kind of serious thing I'm talking about. I'm not going to give up on Tennessee football, but college athletics in general, man, it's been destroyed. What we loved, what we grew up understanding, and what we all knew about what was so excellent. And yeah, it was a product. It's been a product since they started putting Notre Dame and Oklahoma football games on the radio 85 years ago. You know, like it's been a product since then, okay? Since the first marketing exec figured out how to market a jersey or whatever it is, it's been a product. So what? The level of run amok marketing and the oversaturation and the disgusting perversion of the game and collegiate athletics in general, it's sickening. And it makes me not want to watch, because every time I'm watching and I watch guys like Lance Hurd the other night, you know, hey, if he's watching, I'm sorry, Bucko, you know, it just,
I wish he was,
you know, you absolutely had no anything in the game at all. Didn't want to be there. Boo Carter didn't want to be here the whole time this year, like since he missed out. That kind of crap, it might have existed on a smaller scale in a different context before professionalization. But now that they're pro athletes, there's no reason for any of it unless you truly want to be somewhere. And you're one of those guys. I got Will Brooks jersey in the room in there, and I'm telling y'all what, Will Brooks is like, since Eric Berry and Josh Dobbs, my favorite player at Tennessee, because that dude, and now Deshaun Bishop, I know he's probably getting some money, but still, I mean, dude wanted to be at Tennessee.
He did give his all for Tennessee.
Yeah, he bet on himself because he could have gone, I think it was Eastern Carolina, and then their coach went to Liberty.
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal. Coach went to Liberty. He said, you know what? I was committed to a coach. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to go to UT because I grew up in Knoxville. Dude probably wakes up in the morning and could open his vein in the mirror and just be like, you know what? There's orange coming out. There's orange right there coming out. That's gone on such a scale as to hurt everything. And y'all watch in the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to get so bad and people are going to start griping and complaining about it on such a mass level that it's going to change and it's going to be a swing. Hopefully, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed here. Hopefully, it's going to be in a reactionary swing. And we're going to have, I know it's not going back to amateurism, but it ought to. But there's going to be something that shakes out, like the Big Ten and SEC having 20 teams, whatever the hell it is. It's just sickening, and I stop there. That's
I got you. I wasn't going to keep you from it. I knew you had that rant that you wanted to get to.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome. But that's something that I'm always, whatever you want to say on this channel, you're more than welcome to it. And not going to keep you from your opinions like some other channels. So, that originally was talking about the bowl game. I'm glad Tom kind of took us away from the bowl game because nobody wants to talk about that load of crap. Because that bowl game was a production of what Tom just all talked about. There's no pride in it anymore. You have those few like Sean Bishop. Did y'all see Deshaun Bishop on the kickoff return chase down Joe Kim Dotson on the sideline? That was the best thing I saw all night. I don't care what I like. That was the best thing. He was on the sideline, not on the kickoff return. He sat there running down the sideline, chasing down Joe Kim Dotson with the biggest smile on his face because he cared. He actually cared. And there's some guys that are going to give it your all for Tennessee. I'm with you, Tom. I think you got to get back to some type of resemblance of what college football used to be. It won't ever go back to amateurism. It's just way past that. But we got to have guidelines and set in stone this transfer portal BS and all the other stuff that's a wild, wild west out there. I mean, there has to be legislation put in, and we honestly, people would hate it, but I think we just need to hire Nick Saban as commissioner, and because he has good ideas, he has like these thoughts that would help some of this boneheaded crap with opt-outs and all this bowl game stuff, and transfer portal, coaches leaving mid-season, players leave, all of that crap would be handled if you use the ideas of using the portal calendar and the recruiting calendar based off of what the academic calendar is. And do during the summer have like NFL OTAs and camp. That be your spring train. That be the spring practices, and not have to worry about this winter portal crap and kids leaving and all that. That I completely agree with Nick Saban on all of that. And but obviously there's got to be legislation goes on the back end of that settles all this antitrust crap.
So real quick, Casey actually asked a question about what you just hit on as far as the legislation. And man, I love you to death, but I got to disagree with you on putting the legislation in place. Like there's a couple of things, and it's just my opinion. I'm not a genius or nothing, but we live in a supposed theoretical free market system of capitalism. That's great. It's created the most amount of wealth that the world has ever seen. It's the best system that anybody has ever devised to this point. The best way to let a supposed quote unquote free market work is to let the market work itself out. And the minute that you start trying to apply levers to it other than the purchasers of the product demanding better, then it's literally just cronyism. So I mean, you have and also our legislators in states and nationally can't come up with even a balanced budget for federal budget, state budgets. All our states are in budget crises. I don't trust any of them in any of the state capitals, especially when they're sent there with lobby interests in mind. Like in Missouri 3 years ago, they passed legislation. Missouri's in a budget crisis, and they're getting our tax dollars like all the other states are, but sitting instead of their guys locking themselves on a tennis court and saying we're not leaving until we come up with a resolution to balance the budget, they're passing bills about, well, we need to make sure that these in-state kids that are going to commit to Missouri or in-state,
getting paid millions.
they can get paid millions of dollars in high school for committing to a college in Missouri for playing college football.
Yeah.
Like, let's just think about that for a second. What sense does it make for legislators who are that corrupt and that interested in just crap that shouldn't even be happening in the first place? But as far as the market and everything, we just need to demand better. Like, I didn't actually watch the bowl game. I listened to it on the Vol Network because I love the radio show. That's like my thing. But when we watch these, and I'm not going to ever point the finger at somebody else. I'm never going to question the conscience of somebody else that has a different way. I might disagree with them, but I'm not going to be like, well, I question your motives or whatever. 'Cause we can all disagree in here for sure. We're all Tennessee fans. We love Tennessee, and we can agree and disagree on all these different things. But and see that right there, what he also just brought up is another thing. We must demand better with our dollar and with our eyeballs and what we watch and what we listen to. If it's immoral, if it's unethical, I'm still a purchaser of the product because, I bought this last year and I bought the Will Brooks jersey since professionalization. So I'm guilty of it. But to an extent, we got to demand better with what we do with our fandom. I'm not going to give up. I know you're not going to give up. I know Big Mike and Joey, y'all aren't going to give up. But we got to be legitimately demanding with what we want in a better way. Like, remember when the students went pissy crazy over that guy from Penn State who had nothing to do with the Joe Paterno stuff? They went buku crazy on Tennessee's campus and cost us probably a pretty good coach. And the national media was just laughing at us. That kind of stuff needs to be done like with the Bud Light thing. You need to put your actual foot down when something needs to be done, and you need to say, as consumers, we're not consuming this crap in this way, to that extent, whatever it is. Yeah, that's –
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Tom. And, I think there's a lot that's got to be changed with college football, college sports in general. And unfortunately, I think you're, because of the antitrust settlement, I think you're going to have legislation. I don't think there's any way around it. I agree that we could boycott and do all these other things. That's fine and dandy, but the players are still going to ask for this such and such, and so until that antitrust settlement lawsuit gets figured out, there's not going to be any wiggle room around it. So
true that, and it was because the fools. Sorry. My last little, it's 45 seconds. It's because the fools who represented the NCAA, look, the NCAA is made up of the institutions. It's not just some NCAA just came from outer space to regulate college football. It exists because of the member universities which comprise it. And the entire reason that amateurism made it as far as it did after the 1916 implementation, saying you're not going to pay players to promote education and a fair playing field. And those were the staples that made it what it was, which was great and amazing. Yeah. It was because they are educational adjacent industries. Like, college football is an unintended massive superstar of the product world. College football, nobody 100 years ago could have known that it was going to be what it is today and how much of a moneymaker it is. And the idiots who argued against professionalization for the NCAA didn't even have the mindset, if you read the transcripts of the argument in courts that were made, they didn't even have the mindset to say, Well, it's an educational adjacent industry, which is exactly why we've been exempt from the antitrust violations, And all they would have had to say is, hey, you know what? These guys come here, they play, they know what they're signing up for. Nobody's twisting their arms. They're doing it because they wanted to do it. And that's it. And I'm not going to say any more about it until the next time we start talking.
I'm gonna put you on mute. No, I'm playing.
No, I'm good.
No, I know I'm playing.
It really, I've spent years thinking about this, and it really pisses me off.
I know.
Yeah.
Me and you talk about it all the time. We go back and forth on it. And Big Mike, I know there was a lot thrown in there, but going forward into next year, looking at the schedule that I had pulled up earlier, you look at the roster that may be coming back, may not be coming back. What do you think needs as far as guy parts in the transfer portal? Obviously, we kind of talked about this on the last show, but positions that you're looking at that we have to get better at to actually be successful when it comes to that schedule next year. You look at the schedule. My first look at the schedule, I'm thinking 7-5 with the roster, 6-6, 7-5 with the roster we got right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be, it could even go down even further than that, pending other people leave. But with chances of bringing in top tier guys like Chaz Coleman, quarterback, the Cook guy from Jacksonville State, King Matt from Penn State, and other top tier guys that are getting floated around as possible Tennessee targets. What do you think Tennessee needs to look at, targeting, and then not just position wise, but character wise?
Can I name more than one position?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Give me all you want.
I think number one, offensive line. One of the biggest offensive line. Obviously, defensive line, some edge rushers. I know we're looking at a guy from I can't remember his name now. Somebody we're supposed to be getting a visit from.
Chaz Coleman from Penn State.
No, this is another something Trick or
Ohio, Miami of Ohio.
Miami, Ohio.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think linebacker. I mean, I know we got Perlotti coming back, and T-Lander, and Spillman. That's one thing I've been looking at is offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, safety.
Mm-hmm.
I think we may have to probably have to look for a quarterback. Not a quarterback. Well, yeah, obviously that too, but like a running back with Peyton Lewis leaving out, and now a kicker. We're going to have a place kicker for next year, but we definitely need. I think both of the lines, offensive line and defensive line, are some of the biggest ones that stick out to me. That we're going to have to definitely be better at. That we need to hit hard in the portal.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on all those positions. Obviously, defensive back is going to be wide open. Both safety position. I know we got Farouk coming back, but you look at the weakness of what this defense was. Safety was primarily the main target. Plus, Jim knows, just talking about strategy and scheme. Jim knows likes bigger safeties. He likes his star to be more of a safety / linebacker. I know that just rings into Tom's ears. To have that bigger mold guy rovering across the middle instead of like pure defensive back like Tim Banks liked. Just to bring more physicality in the run game and establish that that presence across the middle of the field. Likes bigger guys in the interior of defensive line. There's been talk about Marion Dye and David Hobbs even getting moved over to the strong side defensive end. in this defense and really targeting the portal for some, some hosses, some 6'5", 340, 350 type guys that are just pure hosses to throw in that middle and to really help stop the run game. I know we're talking about in the chat have to replace T. Lander's going to be back. He's slower linebacker, but he gives us all for Tennessee, and he's a great tackler when he gets the right angle. So, but they are looking at replacing, getting a fourth guy, maybe a starter to go along with Perlotti or Spillman. I think you're looking at someone that could be a swing guy. I think Perlotti may be a guy that you look at being that star rover type person with his speed. Talks about being able to move that guy around. I can see Perlotti getting moved, and then Spillman and another linebacker being those guys in the middle. So different things you can look at. Offensive line, I agree with you, Big Mike. I think you have to look at adding a tackle body or a guy that could swing, be a guard or a tackle. I think you're looking at right now David Sanders being left tackle, Jesse Perry being right tackle, along with Moy and Pendleton being at center and guard. You do need to find a right guard. I know Sham Umarov is a guy that you like as a depth piece. I don't see him as a starter, but as maybe like your sixth lineman, he's a good sixth lineman body. Casey put there in the chat, Kevin Byard's brother. My feet. Byard, transfer from Colorado, is a guy that we're getting a visit from. There's other guys that have been listed that we may be getting visits from, but it's a little too early. You'll be another 48 hours. You'll get more from Austin Price and crew. So, Joey, man, just kind of bouncing off of what I asked Big Mike, looking at that schedule and what we got next year, and then what we have coming back, and what we need to attack in the portal. What type of guys do you want? Obviously, this coaching staff has an idea, but what do you think from this last year's defense that we need to change identity-wise and character-wise that we need to target in the portal?
I think we need to stop getting selfish people.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like
Boo Carter, Ricky Gibson.
Yeah, 100%. That just came in here for the money and whatever, the Nicos of the world, and start finding guys like the Aguilars and like your Will Brookses and
Jalen McMurray's and stuff.
Jalen McMurray's and Deshaun Bishops and those type dudes. But at the same time, man, get some ballers. Like, regardless of who you're playing, when you're playing, where you're playing, some dudes that just want to be on the field. And more than that, dudes that are just thankful to be on the field.
Yeah.
Because you get old washed up guys like us that are sitting here that are not on the field that would have given anything to be on that field. And just not taking that for granted. Dudes that really just want to play because they love the game and that fall in love. I've been a Tennessee fan since before I was born. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was born into this, and it goes back to my granddad and to my dad, and so. But people who fall in love with Tennessee, just the atmosphere, the culture, and I think more than anything, we got to get the culture back. Because it ain't there. It is not there. If you don't have a winning culture, if you don't have a selfless culture, you guys have coached a little bit too, so you know what I'm talking about. We got to get back to the place. If we want all the things that Tom was talking about earlier, we got to get back to the place where the coaches are the coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have the boo quarter moms out there trying to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's getting. And here's what's crazy. People don't realize it's getting like that in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
Middle school.
middle school and high school.
The moment they started letting them get paid out of high school in some states, it just.
Well, I mean,
it's
dude,
wild.
The entitlement that these people have from travel ball, bro.
Yeah.
You're playing somebody else's team that didn't cut it on another team, and they got mad, so they started their own team.
Yeah,
there ain't no competition, and they're giving out state championship rings that used to mean something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they're a dime a dozen. I got our team at the end of our season. I always had a team MVP. The team voted on it. Coaches didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I got that ring for like $10 on Amazon, bro. It ain't even special anymore. These kids don't care because it's just entitlement. And if we want to get back to what we know is the sport, and it's never going to get back to what we used to know. We can all agree to that. But if we want to head in that direction, and the coaches are going to have to coach, and the players are going to have to be the players. And it's kind of like at home, the parents got to be the parent, not the kid.
Yes.
Your kid don't dictate how you run your house. So it should never be like that. And if it's happening at home, then it's going to happen everywhere. And that's my rant, and that's my 2 cents on it. But the type of people you gotta, I guess it boils down to this: if they can be teachable and coached, that's the kind of players that we gotta have.
Yeah.
The Jason Wittens of the world. We gotta have that type mentality. Yes, I mess up, coach me, help me. And it's crazy because coaches get to the point where they don't even feel like they can coach kids anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm 100% spot on with you. I think when you look at the coaching staff, and I think that's what Coach Heupel identified with Coach Knows as someone that's
100%.
old school, no BS, guys that's going to, come in here, demand greatness, and you're going to do what you're expected to do. It's not, you're going to fulfill your side of the contract. And that's you're getting paid. Like, unfortunately, we're at that point. You got to fulfill your duties, and we're going to coach you. We're going to do our job. You're going to do your job, and we're going to identify what we can do to come together as a team and make the best out of it all together. Mm-hmm. Because you hit it spot on, Joey. The character, as far as someone that can be teachable, coachable, and is all in for your job and being a team. Because I think that's one reason why Indiana is so successful, because I go ahead and tell you, Signetti don't play no BS.
Yeah,
he is 100%. That's the reason me and my brother were talking about the other day, and I almost told him to come on because I wanted him to talk about it because he loves Signetti. I think there's so many things that we can add from coaching staff as far as not just strategy, but just management of the locker room, the culture, the environment that can make this roster better. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's several things. Obviously, like Joey said, we need some dogs, we need some killers on that defensive side of the ball. It pissed me off. I was sick at my stomach watching Jacoby Thomas just decleat every Ohio State player the other night, because that was a dude that was all in for Tennessee and gave his all for Tennessee, but Tennessee didn't think he was good enough.
Paid Boo Carter.
They paid Boo Carter.
And that worked out great.
His mix about Tennessee, but they let someone who loved Tennessee walk off. It just I could go. Jacoby Thomas was he loved, like, you could see it when he ran out of the tee. Like, that was his dream. And just to let him go, which hats off to him. I mean, if I'm cheering for anybody, I'm cheering for Ole Miss or Indiana. Reason why I'm cheering for Ole Miss because of the Lane Kiffin thing. I would love nothing but for them to win.
Wouldn't that be the best thing in the world?
The story is the story's writing itself. 100%.
Yeah, and then or Indiana or I'd be fine with Miami winning it too. because of Jacoby Thomas, just Jacoby Thomas, which I like. I like a couple of their other players too, but there's so many things, and I get Casey in here because he's in here in the chat. Down here. We ain't seen him in a while. What's up, Casey? What's up, man?
What's going on,
What's
bud?
up? Long time no see. All you
I know.
guys. It's been a while.
Good. I know you told me in the Twitter chat that you've been busy with work and stuff, and deal with other things. So, just first off, what do you think about the coaching hires? What I know, me and you've talked a little bit on Twitter about it, but what do you think about the coaching hires?
So I'm a fan of it. I mean, we needed to get rid of Banks because Banks is one of those guys that you'll be elite every once in a while with him, like if you have a good offense, but you'll never be consistently elite. So it's one of those moves that you have to make if you really want to be consistent at the top of college football. So I think it was a really much needed move. And then I think securing Rodney Garner was massive, keeping him because he's arguably the best defensive line coach in college football history. And then I think we had to get rid of Martinez as well, even though he's picked up some good guys from the portal. If you look at the actual development out of high school and the guys he was recruiting, it wasn't great. So we were essentially relying on the portal every year for that. So I think that we really upgraded at those two spots. I think we needed that strength coach to be gone big time. Yeah. If you look how often our guys are getting injured in the game, it wasn't season ending stuff, but it was always, those little nagging stuff in the games. It's way more than basically any other team that I watch. So we definitely need some improvements there. And I'm really interested to see what we do in the portal. We need to go heavy in it. I think you and I were talking on Twitter, but it was 15 to 18 players or something we need to go get. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the roster, the construction of our roster, and the number of guys I've already left. But, I mean, there's just depth pieces that not only do we need to go, get some big-time pieces as far as starters go, but we need to add better depth. I mean, I know we were the youngest team in all of college football, and it showed. We were the youngest team in the SEC. Maybe not all of college football, but I know for sure, without a doubt, stats-wise, percentage-wise, via freshmen and sophomores, we were the youngest team as far as playing time in the SEC. And so that had to have factor. That obviously had a factor in the season, the outcome in the season. And that could show growth going into next year. But at the same time, you talk about these dogs that people get out of the portal. You look at Indiana. Indiana is a team that's made primarily up off of transfers and got upperclassmen. They are the oldest. They are the oldest team in the country. They look you, and then you look at the way they play defensively. They're the most disciplined, one of the most disciplined teams in the country. They just do things the right way, and their development is there. Obviously, Cinetti's a great, evaluator of talent, but I think for Tennessee to get to that consistency, you need to have a better mix of veteran talent and that young talent. And obviously, we had some, a couple veteran, very skilled guys like Chris Brazell and Aguilar being the senior, and a couple other guys on the defensive side of the ball, primarily on the defensive line. But you got to have a better mixture. And so I agree with you. Casey, I think you hit it spot on there. Big Mike, something that me and you talked about, the quarterback position. Me and you talked about text the other day. Quarterback's going to be the main, obviously we need to add a lot. But when you look at the quarterback position, we got Faison Brown, we got George McIntyre is going to be on campus. What do you think we target in the portal? I know a guy like Anthony Calandria from UNLV is a guy that's been kind of thrown around. Alonze Barnett from James Madison's been a guy that's been kind of thrown around. What type of guy do you think would fit best to be able to come in and help Tennessee be successful in 2026?
Like a specific player, or
Yeah, no, not but just a type, like the character, uh, type of player. What do you think Tennessee needs to target in the portal or to bring in?
just something that Joey hit on and you talked about, just somebody that comes in that'll be willing to learn offense, teachable. That's not like me. That they're coming in, willing to compete, not coming in entitled. Thinking this position's mine. Earn it.
Yeah,
I want to target somebody that doesn't have a problem coming in and that is fine with earning the position and it not being handed to them.
yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I think that is trait number one that I look at as far as my quarterback. But that and the capability of being a leader. Now, obviously, you can talk about all the physical traits. A fast guy, a guy that can be that dual threat. I think we need to get back to running the quarterback. You look at the most successful teams in college football; they run the quarterback. It's not question if you do it. It's you got to do it. Like these defenses are too good to not be able to take advantage of that 11th man, and just making it known. Like obviously Aguilar ran the ball a few times this year, but we need a higher percentage of quarterback run game. I know. You got that risk of injury there, but it's football. So I think you have to have those physical traits that can be successful in today's way of football. But like B Mike said, I think those traits of being able to be teachable, coachable, not entitled. I think Fernando Mendoza. I know I keep going back to Indiana, but you look at what his transition from California to Indiana and the role he took and the way he kind of went about things, I think is a perfect example. So, is that guy out there? Or is he yet to enter the portal? I don't know. I don't even know what Heupel's looking at in the portal, but I think all four of us would agree that those traits are something that Tennessee obviously needs. Obviously, and then you're going to have a redshirt freshman and a true freshman in the quarterback room. I think you need to have that junior, senior, one and done guy that can be that leadership and have that voice in that quarterback room because you don't want obviously someone come in to try to run off Faison or GMAC. I think it's definitely got to be a one and done guy. But
That's another thing. Getting somebody in there, that that'll help the younger guys come along and
yeah,
not have a problem, and helping them develop as well, and
yeah,
getting to know your teammates, developing chemistry. I think that's a huge trait. That hopefully that they're looking for somebody that wants to come in and and get with everybody and develop the chemistry and form relationships like a Joey Aguilar.
yeah. No, I agree. I think that's someone that's spot on. You look at that as far as the traits that Joey Aguilar brought in because he was the perfect example of a VFL. Like he gave his all for Tennessee. Came in, established relationships, and what didn't come in with an entitlement. He thought he had the job from day one, but he wasn't going to put it out there and make it known. He's just did it the right way. So can see hit like that 2 years in a row. Obviously, we need to put more around him and be better defensively.
Did you guys read the
Tom,
War Room? Sorry, I was going to say, did you
oh
guys
no,
read the
go
War Room?
ahead, go ahead. Now I've read pieces of it. I didn't get to read all of it. What do you want to add?
It sounds
Chris?
like it sounds like the main guy we're interested in is the guy from Arizona State, Levitt.
Levitt,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
So,
Sam Levitt.
so
yeah,
That'd
I
be
don't
something.
know if we're going to be willing to pay him just because we have so much money tied up in GMAC and Brandon already. But I think a guy like him, we need someone that can use their legs. I don't know if the guy from UNLV is actually big enough. Like I think he would get a lot of balls bounced like at the line of scrimmage. But the guy from James Madison, I think, would be a good fit. I think we need someone with the physical capabilities of being a big time SEC quarterback.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I think James Madison, the quarterback for James Madison, Alonzo Barnett. Don't get me wrong. I would love Sam Leavitt. I think him, Sorsby, Josh Hoover would all be great gets, but I think there's money bag is going to be to what we need defensively. I think their money bag's going to be a little too pricey, even though I hate that because I think if you're going to win, you got to pay. Like you got to find the money somewhere. Like you look at Texas Tech, obviously they got shut out by Oregon, but they were most spending transfer portal team in this last year's offseason, and you see where it got them. Obviously, they play in the Big 12, so a little different. But you do that, and you get a higher success rate in the portal, and you be able to fit your team. That could go a long way. So, Tom, to kind of close out the show and wrap the show up, put a bow on it. What else do you expect? Do you expect any other coaching changes this offseason? Do you expect more portal entries? Do you think that Tennessee is going to be a destination that is looked at? Say, hey, I want to go be a part of that. So I know that's a 3-tier question, but go ahead and answer that.
Well, I don't know if I want any more guys. I'm kind of on the fence as far as whether look, William Inge, I love his attitude and everything. I don't know if I necessarily want him here anymore. I'm kind of 50-50 on it, and I don't know if I necessarily want Glenn Ellerby here anymore with the lack of development we saw this year.
That'd be
the lack of discipline and development on the offensive line this year. I know that they were a new unit. Okay. You're replacing Cooper. You're replacing guys that have been together for a couple of years. And then the only guy left from last season that was an actual starter was a guy that I just spent last year giving all kinds of hell to because he looked like he didn't care. And that was Lance Hurd. And he looked like that the other night again, too. And guess what? Lo and behold, turns out he didn't care. But as far as guys that I'm not quite sold on like I am with other coaches, I'm sorry, there's dog hair floating around because my other dog just got up on the couch.
And just confirmed to be back, by the way.
Huh?
Ange was confirmed to be back today.
Yeah. He's one of the coach. Yeah, he was on the defensive hires. Inge, Andrew Jackson, Garner, Knowles, Poindexter, and Hunter are our defensive staff.
Then I'm good with it. Yep, then I'm good with it. But as far as do I expect a lot of I'm just going to be real here. I expect an exodus from Tennessee. I've been vocal about this on here and on YouTube or on anywhere that I can find somebody to engage with. I'm pretty sure Josh Heupel is on his last 2 years as far as on the way out. Like, I just don't expect it from him. I think he completely bungled the success and the momentum. Momentum is everything, and he bungled it from 2022. Every player that wasn't already signed and taken a fat check and a fat bag from another team that was committed somewhere probably was looking – you know what? Tennessee looks like they finally found their balls again. Yeah. After 20 years, we finally found our sack. And you know what? They bungled it. But I expect, and this is just me thinking what I think. I think we're going to see some key offensive guys leave. I think we're going to see some key defensive guys looking around. And you know what? They might dangle their feet in the water for a minute and say, well, you know what? I'm not leaving. I've tested the waters. Maybe other coaches saw our film this year too, and they didn't have their heads buried in the sand, and they don't want me because it looked like I didn't know what I was doing because maybe I wasn't coached well. Maybe I didn't put the effort in. Maybe it's a mix of the two. And maybe we do, you look at guys like Edwin Spillman, Jaden Perlotti at linebacker. I really, really want Austin Romaine from Kansas State. If we got Austin Romaine at linebacker from Kansas State as that big body in the center, the athletic guy that is fast as hell. I don't know if anybody got to watch him this year. Very good player. Those kinds of guys are the killers that you want to see coming in. But who in the world in their right mind wants to join the traveling train wreck that was UT this year, as far as the lack of development, lack of discipline, lack of what looked like give a damn? It just – you'd have to pay somebody in this modern age that we're in, you'd have to pay them serious money to come and say, well, you know what, fellas, prospects aren't looking very good, but we're going to pay you at least. Oh, well, we're probably going to pay you a little bit less than somewhere else is going to pay you. So we really don't have a lot to offer you. That it kind of goes back. Y'all were talking about the quarterback thing a few minutes ago. And I think I'll probably tie it off on this, because this is really my question to myself as far as what I think about UT next year. We started off talking about, well, love the Jim Knowles hire. Is it going to take 2 years? Maybe, maybe not. He might literally just pull out a bag of tricks and say, we're going to kill it next year with the guys we got and the guys we're going to pick up, because the portal does work out. Okay, well, that's great. But as far as the quarterback, that's a mirror image of that same situation. Like, I'd love for us to go grab somebody that is like what Big Mike was saying, guy that has 1 year of eligibility left. Hopefully he's not 26 years old, because I think that's ridiculously stupid and unethical. But, whatever, with the world being what it is, if it's a guy with 1 year left, he's got the balls and the moxie and the confidence to come in, learn the playbook. Well, then maybe next year's not a burner year for everybody. You get that right key position quarterback, you get a really good linebacker, get one or two offensive linemen that know their hind ends from a hole in the front yard, and what their assignments are, and don't get your quarterback killed. You could really be looking at something. I mean, you really could. It's still Tennessee. That's what we all are so mad about. The last 20 years is like, man, what in the world? Y'all can't put something together that just it finally eclipses that point. Like, you stay consistently very good. You don't have to be elite every season, but just be very good and progressing. And if that kind of thing is something you can see as a player coming in, as a coach hire, then yeah, I expect people would want to be a part of that. And we busted the world open with that whole Nico situation a couple of years ago, showing recruits that I'm pretty sure personally that one was just we want to make a splash. We want the number one quarterback in the class. We're going to pay him. And of course, that momentum got bungled too, because you see what happened there. But you can easily pick these things back up. In this world, I hate to say it, the world we've created that we allow to exist because it is what it is, you go drop a bag on somebody and you really can make a world of difference with one or two key things, like the Jim Knowles.
Yeah.
You make one change like that, and it's all over but the crying, baby. If he really comes in balls to the wall, then we're going to see something special, but I expect it's going to be an exodus outward, not inward. I hope I'm wrong about it. And I said all that to say, yeah, it's going to be one way or the other extreme. I don't think it's going to be a medium. I think it's going to be one way or the other extreme. They're either going to finally deliver on bringing dudes in the free agency, or they're just going to let them go out. And we all know what's going to be part of that thing. It's going to say 26 is a burner. And,
well, I mean, I agree with you, Tom. I think there's so many things that you could tag onto that, whether next year is going to be successful or not. I think you look at what Coach Heupel did changes wise as far as this offseason so far. You got the strength and conditioning coach still to be named. I know there's been some names thrown around, that possible options there, but I think you got to kind of tip your cap off to Josh Heupel, identifying that he needed to make changes whether he was told to or he thought of it. I mean, came about that on his own. But defensively, you're looking at a whole new staff as far as the ideas and strategy there. And now, obviously, Coach Inge and Coach Gardner are being retained, but they're going to be teaching the things that Coach knows, and as far as based off of their strategy and what they preach to their football players, obviously. But I think Coach Heupel took a look in the mirror, and us as Tennessee fans kind of give that wait and see approach this offseason. I've been vocal about it. I don't think Coach Heupel will be our guy to ever get us back to a national championship. But hey, go out, prove it, change my mind, and then you'll be the best coach ever in my eyes, because you'll have a national championship in my lifetime to go along with Philip Fulmer. It's just how Tennessee fans are. So, Casey, anything you want to add? I know you haven't been able to get on the show much. Anything you want to add?
So I guess I disagree with Rocky Top Tom a little bit. I think that they're not going to lose anybody that they aren't willing to lose. Like, I think everyone they're losing is people that they're completely fine with leaving the team, and I think there's going to be a mass exodus of people coming into the program. I think there's going to be a lot of new blood, a lot of new faces. I think a lot of people that played for Jim Knowles previously, either Penn State or Ohio State, is going to be joining the team. So I think we have a real shot to be good next year. I don't know if we'll be elite, but I think we'll be good, 9 or 10 wins. I know we were talking about the schedule earlier. I think our schedule is actually like average in the SEC next year. That's just the way everyone's schedule is.
Yeah,
so I think
without a doubt it is. Yeah.
I think we have the potential to be just as good as anyone else, except for maybe Georgia next year. So
I agree with you.
And I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. I do. I'm right there with you on the wishing. I really hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say I'll probably closer to agree with Casey, just mainly because of the guys that they brought in to coach defensively. I think Coach Heupel, now, if there wasn't many changes, I think there would have been a mass exodus. But if Coach Heupel, like if he would just, went about the motions and, kept staff as he is, I think there would have been a mass exodus, because there would have been no showing of improvement or trying to improve. I think Coach Heupel made those necessary changes. He's still making changes. And I think this kind of gives Tennessee that little jolt of that little shot of positivity, some momentum in the offseason. Even though we couldn't use the game, I think these coaching hires and the recruiting class, and then what this transfer portal, obviously NIL plays a factor into it. But you go get a transfer haul of Chaz Coleman, the Cook kid from Jacksonville State, a top tier linebacker from Baylor, another safety, and another you get some top name guys. The kid from Miami, Ohio. You look at that growth and see who they're bringing in to go along with what we already got. Like I said earlier in the show, we were the youngest team in the SEC. So as long as you have that growth and the development, and that with this new coaching staff there, and you put all those pieces together, that you could come out and on the prize money side of this thing, of this off season, and go have a great season next year. It's there's so many things you just got to wait and see as Tennessee Vol fans. I know it's the biggest thing for all of us to do, because we're the most impatient fan base in the world, but it just is what it is. I mean, Big Mike, you've been with them for several years. I've been with them for 33 years. You've been with them for 35 years. Tom, ain't you 35?
I just turned 36 in September.
36.
You know what?
And then Casey, how old are you, Casey?
23.
Oh, he's
Get
a young
away.
cat. He's a young cat. But he's been through the misery. He's never seen greatness. So.
I never saw any success, so I think that
there
makes
you go.
me as good
Other
a fan
than
as anybody.
2020.
And you know what? I want to admit when I'm wrong or when I've changed my mind. This is something that people need to do more often, and we need to be genuine with one another. Just the way that the two of y'all, back to back, presented a logical and reasonable argument with the points that you made. You did somewhat give me a little bit of hope and positivity for next season, because I was just being honest a few minutes ago. Like, I expected a big outward gush, not an inward one, but just the way y'all phrased it. I mean, literally, especially with the recruiting class, the way that it. Oh, that's a. Yeah,
he been there.
Right there.
Big Mike, how old are you, Big Mike?
45.
45. No, I thought you were mid 40s. I thought you were around there. So we got all that growth. Tom, hey, that's what this channel's all about, brother. I just being able to vocal out your opinions, and you the man. I'm never going to tell you to keep your opinions to yourself. I always want you to be able to share what you feel like. And obviously, me and you both been frustrated with Tennessee Vols and several of the things they've done, as all four of us have. But
y'all changed my mind just then, though.
Yeah,
really.
there is opportunity here for Tennessee to take that next step because of the opportunity what Josh Heupel laid in front. If he would have just stayed where he was and kept the same, then I would have probably be right there with you, Tom. I'm just being honest. But you hire a national champion defensive coordinator. You bring in probably one of the top assistant coaches in the nation that's not a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, Anthony Poindexter. And then you surround him with veteran guys like Rodney Gardner, William Inge, and maintaining, keeping Kelsey Pope, I thought was huge. And then you look at the only other question I would probably say is Joey Halsley and Glenn Ellerby. But, hey, Coach Heupel is trusting himself. He's banking on the change on the defense. We'll see where that takes us. And hopefully we have a great offseason. Hey, great show, guys. I know it's we're in the offseason. We're going to have a full-on once we get some more transfer portal movement. We'll hop on here with another show, but great show. Again, y'all follow us at Rocky Top Talks 1 on Twitter or X. Post on there anytime we go live. Follow us on Facebook at Rocky Top Sports Talk. Let's post on there as well. And then give us a thumbs up or share or subscribe to Rocky Top Sports Talk YouTube channel. Mean the world to us, just trying to get this channel growing out there. I know we had a big show a couple times ago. Hopefully we can get back to that. I know the not being able to go live as often as some of these other shows, but hey, it's just part of having other jobs, having a life, dealing with other priorities. So, but we love and we appreciate all y'all as Tennessee Vol fans have been able to come on the show and voice y'all's opinions. Big Mike, Rocky Top Tom, Casey, Joey, earlier in the show, he had to step out. But appreciate all y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. And as always, go Big Orange.
Yes, sir.
Go Vols.
I've been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Was in the gym working my shot, now they pass me the ball. They never answer when I call, now I don't know